Help me reach 1,000 subscribers. I never expected Evelyn's words to hit me the way they did. I just see you as a friend now, she said softly, as if announcing the weather, not quietly redrawing the map of my life. We sat across from each other at our usual cafe, the one where the barista always remembered our order and the sunlight hit the window just right. I nodded. It felt easier than arguing with something she had already decided in her mind. I'm Marcus, 34, with a steady job that pays the bills and leaves me normally tired. I'm not loud, dramatic, or the type to slam doors. I've always believed relationships don't need fireworks to be meaningful. Consistency mattered to me, showing up, planning ahead, making space. Evelyn once told me she loved that about me, that I made her feel safe. We'd been together just over 2 years. Not a whirlwind, not a fairy tale, but steady. Somewhere along the way that balance shifted. It started with small things. A hand she pulled back, plans that dissolved into silence. I told myself not to overthink it. People get busy. Feelings change. Life goes on. So when she said it, I didn't yell, beg, or plead. I asked one simple question: what does that mean for us? She shrugged, eyes on her coffee. I don't know. I just don't feel that way anymore. I still care about you, just differently. Her voice sounded relieved, like she'd been holding it in for weeks. That night, I sat on the edge of my bed longer than I care to admit. I wasn't angry. I was tired of guessing, tired of leaning forward while someone else leaned back. And then I realized something. If she saw me as a friend, I would treat her like one. Not out of spite, but out of respect for her honesty. The next day I stopped initiating. No morning texts. No, did you get home safe? Messages. I didn't adjust my schedule around hers. When she sent a meme, I replied hours later, like friends do when their lives are full. It felt strange at first, like learning to walk to a different rhythm, but it felt honest. After a week, she noticed. You could hear it in the pauses between messages, in the careful phrasing of her casual check-ins. I told her the truth. I'm treating this exactly the way you defined it. She laughed awkwardly and called me dramatic. I didn't argue. Friends don't fight over emotional access. They respect boundaries. Our anniversary approached. I had booked a quiet restaurant weeks in advance, but 2 days before I checked my phone. Nothing. No anticipation, no excitement, just a casual message about a show she was watching. I canceled the reservation. Politely. Calmly. No speech attached. She looked at me like I'd broken some unspoken rule. You didn't have to cancel, she said. I replied, friends don't celebrate anniversaries. The words hit harder than I expected. Her lips parted, then closed. She nodded slowly, recalibrating her understanding of what had changed. I went for a walk that night, thinking about how easily we accept half measures in life just to avoid loss. I wasn't punishing her, I was choosing myself. Later, she texted, I feel like I'm losing you. I didn't respond immediately. I finally understood. You can't make someone want you by offering them what they've already chosen to live without. The next days were quiet, not empty, just different. I focused on work, went to the gym, reconnected with a friend I hadn't seen in months. The things we put off when our world revolves around someone else. Her tone shifted in messages. Are you mad? You seem distant. I answered honestly, I'm fine. Just giving this space. Eventually she asked to meet. We sat in the park we used to visit, planning trips that never happened. She looked nervous, fidgeting, waiting for my judgment. I didn't think you'd actually pull away, she admitted. I thought we'd still be close. I let silence sit for a moment. Not cruelty, silence often speaks the truth when words fail. Close? How? I asked. She struggled. She wanted the comfort, the attention, the safety net, without the responsibility of choosing me. I realized I had been auditioning for a role that no longer existed. She said she missed how things used to be. I agreed, but nostalgia doesn't create a plan. I reminded her. When she said she saw me as a friend, I believed her. Believing someone means acting accordingly, not waiting for them to change their mind. Tears filled her eyes, not because she suddenly loved me, but because she felt the weight of consequences she hadn't expected. She hadn't anticipated me stepping back, stopping the gestures, reclaiming myself. Often people don't miss you, they miss how you made them feel. We parted without drama. No promises, no ultimatums, just understanding that something had shifted permanently. She called that night. I didn't pick up, not out of anger but because taking the call would blur lines that had finally become clear. Weeks later she came by unannounced. Vulnerable, unsure, reaching. She admitted she felt jealous seeing me move on. I listened, but listening doesn't mean surrendering your self-respect. I told her, friendship shouldn't hurt. Love shouldn't feel like disappearing. Fixing things wasn't on the table, not because she was bad, but because I didn't want to relearn my worth the hard way. She left quietly. This time, silence didn't feel heavy. It felt earned. In the following weeks, I noticed how light I felt, how calm my thoughts were. I wasn't happier in a dramatic way, but steadier. Boundaries aren't punishments, they are translations. When she said she saw me as a friend, I listened. And in listening, I found myself again. I don't regret canceling that anniversary dinner. I don't regret stepping back. What I regret is how long it took me to realize that being understood is just as important as being loved. Sometimes, the most respectful thing you can do, for yourself and for others, is to believe them the first time they tell you where you stand and act accordingly.